right, we ready, everybody? All right, good evening. I'm Palm Beach County Mayor Robert Weinroth. Thank you very much for coming out today. We'd like to give you a little bit of an update on what's going on with the tropical storm. Again, first I would like to introduce the people up with me here today. I have Vice Mayor Greg Weiss with me here. I have Commissioner Melissa McKinley. I have, of course, our operational commander and County Administrator Virginia Baker. I have to my right Superintendent Mike Burke. I have Commissioner Maria Sachs. I have Chief Kennedy. I have Colonel Allen. And I have Eric Salagi from FPO, CEO of FPO. So we have a lot of, did I say FPO? Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, FPL. All right, FPL. I don't know. Okay, very good. So we'll take two. All right, so anyway, let me just give you a little bit of an update. We're currently under hurricane watch, as you know. A hurricane watch means that the hurricane conditions are possible within the watch area within 48 hours. As you also know, Governor DeSantis did issue a state of emergency for 34 Florida counties, including Palm Beach County. This afternoon, our county administrator signed the local state of emergency for our county, and this is so that we can look for reimbursement for the cost involved in preparing. The Palm Beach County Emergency Operations Center is currently at a level 3. We've moved it from a level 4 to a level 3, and that just means we're under enhanced monitoring right now. We are closely monitoring the forecast track and potential impacts to the county at this time and determining if any evacuations will be necessary or if any shelters will be opened. At this moment, neither of those are in the planning stage as far as current. The county is, I just want the residents to know that they need to be monitoring the situation. It's a situation where we're going to be watching the storm. If you're a new resident and this is new to you, obviously you're going to be a little bit concerned about hearing that there's a subtropical storm out there, but this is not something to be terribly concerned about because we're built for this. And so we're going to be watching this very carefully. Our new residents and our seasonal residents who haven't experienced this before should be taking proactive measures to prepare, but not panic. By now, you should have your general needs and supplies on hand. Look out for your neighbors. I mean, we have a lot of elderly and we have a lot of people who are living alone. Look in on them, make sure that they have what they need to weather a storm if it does come to our shores. Heavy rainfall is likely. Urban flooding is possible. Flooding will be worse during high tide with a 2 to 4 foot surge possible. Thanks to the proactive management of our beaches, we have been placing sand, a total of 516,000 cubic yards of sand have been placed on the beaches over the last year, and this places us in a very good situation as far as our beach erosion, and we should be able to withstand it without any real problems. Beach erosion probably will occur, but it may even appear dramatic. But again, this is a natural part of the dynamics of our area, and we will be able to deal with this after the storm passes. County staff is coordinating with our state and federal partners, and we're dispatching this morning to complete pre-storm assessment of the beaches. And after the storm passes, of course, post-storm surveys will be conducted. What I'd like to do now is call up to the microphone Mike Burke to tell us a little bit about what's going on in our schools. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. Mike Burke, Superintendent of Schools for the School District of Palm Beach County. We are working very closely with our county emergency management officials. School was already scheduled to be off tomorrow. We typically do that with Election Day because many of our schools serve as polling locations. Those polling locations will be open from 7 to 7 and available to voters. So that's a go. Our employees are expected to report to work tomorrow as scheduled. And then we were going to be continuing to keep a close eye on conditions, weather conditions. We have on our school district www.palmbeachschools.org a dedicated storm page where people can get continuous updates. And if there's anything that will change, please stay tuned. I'll probably have more information tomorrow if there's going to be a need to close any of our schools. Our schools also double as shelters for the community, so if shelters are needed, that will force us to revisit our plans for the rest of the school week. So that's really it at this point for the school district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. We are expecting that Wendy Link will be up here in a few minutes, but before Wendy gets here, I'd like to have Eric Salagji from FPL to come on over and tell us a little bit of what they're doing in preparation.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, everybody. So we activated our teams over the weekend and have stood up our storm plan. We are putting together a force of nearly 13,000 people to address this storm. What we expect is that Nicole is going to have a wide-ranging impact across Florida. Storm is likely to come onshore, travel across the state, go back out in the Gulf of Mexico, and then the forecast is for it to bend back into Florida and impact the northern part of the state, which we serve as well. Regardless, I want you to know that we are preparing for the storm, no matter where it makes impact, but I would also encourage people to not become fixated on the map which shows a particular point of entry. Right now is the time, as the mayor said, to prepare for a potential storm to make landfall anywhere along the eastern coast. Now is the time for all of us to be prepared. That's exactly what we're doing at FPL. That's why we're pre-positioning workers across the eastern part of the state as well as the western part of the state and bringing in more resources even from out of state so we can make sure that we have the workers here that will not just repair the power lines but also clear the trees and the debris. Unfortunately, it's only been a few weeks since Ian hit Florida, brought prolific amounts of rainfall. The ground is saturated. We fully expect that this storm will result in a lot of trees that will either fall over or you will see tree branches coming down because a lot of the vegetation that is still standing has been weakened from Ian and other previous storms. And so unfortunately that is going to result in outages. So I would ask you to all prepare now. Now is the time in the next 24 hours to finalize all of your preparations. Make sure you have a family plan in place, just like FPL has a plan in place on how to restore power, particularly for those who are most vulnerable in our population, the elderly, or who rely on medical devices that need power. Please make sure you have backup power. It is very likely that we will see outages from the storm. As I said, we expect a lot of debris to be picked up in the storm and unfortunately for trees and branches to be coming down. Safety is always our #1 priority, both from a standpoint of keeping our workers safe, but also making sure that our customers stay safe. So again, I would ask all of you, please put your plan in place. If you have a backup generator, make sure that you follow its instructions. Never operate it inside your garage, inside your home. Make sure that you follow all of the instructions. Unfortunately, every year we see people who don't do that and suffer dire consequences because of it. For more safety tips, you can go to our website, fpl.com/safety. I would encourage you to do that. It's also a great resource from a standpoint of getting other information on things you can do to prepare now for the storm. Know that when the storm passes, we will be out in force with our entire workforce and others, and we will not stop working 24 hours a day until everybody's power is back up and running. Appreciate everybody's patience. I wish I could tell you there weren't going to be any power outages, but that's simply not realistic. But you can rest assured that we have a plan. Unfortunately, it's not our first storm. We will implement that plan, and we will work 24 hours a day until the lights are back up. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. And he brings up a very important point. Post-storm is when we see the most injuries, whether it's down power lines, whether it's people who drive into standing water, whether it's carbon monoxide poisoning. Please be very careful. Please don't bring generators into the home. Please be careful if you're out after the storm. Don't be driving into standing water. Don't touch down power lines. I'm going to ask now Commissioner McKinley, who is in District 6, which is a district near the lake, to talk a little bit about the situation out there.
Thank you. Well, I'll start off by saying this isn't how I plan to spend my last 2 weeks in office, but appreciate you all being here. I would just like to say before I talk about the western regions of Palm Beach County that this is a point in time where experience matters. And the men and women behind us are the best emergency responders in the state of Florida, if not the nation. So everybody should feel pretty comfortable knowing that no matter what this storm does to impact our community, we'll be back up and running as fast as possible because of the experience behind us. There are always concerns on the western part of the county. We talk a lot about beach erosion, but on my side of the county, we've got Lake Okeechobee. The lake is just shy of 16 feet right now, which under a bigger storm would definitely pose some major concerns. We have been in touch with the Army Corps of Engineers. They are monitoring the situation very closely. They have told us the storm, while it will be impactful, they're not worried about the levels on the lake until we get anything above a Category 3 storm. So we'll be watching that over the next few days. I would like to ask, this is the time of the year where a lot of people come to South Florida to enjoy the beautiful weather. We do have campers at our campgrounds in South Bay, in Belglade, and in Pahokee. We're not doing any evacuations at this time, but if it starts to look like the storm surge might be a certain level or the winds are going to hit a certain mile per hour, we will start thinking about evacuations, and those are the type of structures that get evacuated immediately. So if you have any concerns and you don't feel that you want to stay in your camper during a tropical storm or during a Category 1 or Category 2 hurricane, now would be the time to pack up your things and think about heading inland or heading a little bit north before anybody else gets on the road and clogs our roads up. So thank you. Pay attention. We'll be reporting back to you as often as we can. But so far, we've got things under control. We just need you to activate your own plans. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner McKinley. All right, now it's time for our incident commander to give us the real poop.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor Weinroth. I would like to reassure our residents that Palm Beach County is ready. We will respond appropriately to Storm Nicole's impact. At this time, all county operations will remain operative. We will continue to monitor the weather. We are in constant contact with the weather service along with the state and FPL and our other partners, and we will make the appropriate adjustments at that time as we receive additional information. As Commissioner McKinley stated, if you plan to leave the area, now is the time to leave. Otherwise, have a plan to hunker down. Well, if you're in Zone A or Zone B, when we make a decision to evacuate zones, have a plan that you made with friends further inland so that you're safe. And if we issue evacuation, we will have shelters for you to also come to. But again, that will be based upon additional information from our partners at the Weather Service as well as the state FDEM. If we make a decision to open the shelters, we will provide ample time for you to make it from your residence to our shelters in a safe manner. Again, I think that every speaker that has come up before you has reminded you to review your preparedness plan. I'm going to say make sure that you've got the appropriate medications because that is what you will need. Make sure that you've put your important papers in a waterproof document so that it is easily accessible to you. And if you haven't updated pictures in your home of your valuables, please do so at this time. If you haven't voted, please do so tomorrow, early. Tomorrow is predicted to be blue skies, so there's no reason for you not to go out and vote. We want to make sure you have that time. Also, we would like to tell you that if you want alerts from the county on emergency situations, please go to homepage pbcgov.com, and sign up for Alert PBC, as well as find your zone. Please know the zone that you reside in, because when we tell you we want you to evacuate, it will be by zone. I am hoping that this will all be for naught, but we want to be prepared for Storm Nicole. Mayor.
Thank you, Virginia. So again, as we said, we are going to have an election tomorrow. It's going to be a good day as far as weather. People should not be holding back from going out to vote. You probably would want to vote early in the day so that if the weather becomes inclement in the afternoon, the evening, that you're not fighting to get to the polls. Palmtran will be giving free rides tomorrow. So anybody who needs to get to the polling place should go ahead and grab a Palmtran. They will be giving rides throughout the county for free. I'd now like to call my friend Commissioner Sachs to come on up and say a few words.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and good evening, Palm Beach County. Well, it looks like we're going to go through another little hurricane. But know, everybody out there, that here in the county, we stand prepared. This is not our first tropical storm or hurricane that we've been through. It may not be our last, but I'll tell you what, the people who stand behind me are ready to fight this, whatever we need. We are here ready for you. Find out what your zone is. Make sure you're prepared. We've been through this before. First thing you need to do tonight is to make sure you have your provisions. The second thing you need to do tomorrow morning is vote. After that, hunker down, as we say in Florida. Get ready for a little storm. But know that we in Palm Beach County government stand prepared to make sure that this Hurricane Nicole passes right over. Thank you so much. Palm Beach County, stay safe. Thank you.
Okay, Chief Kennedy, would you like to add anything as far as the preparation?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. I must say, and echo everything that's already been stated, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue is here for its residents and communities and visitors, and we will stand prepared and together with this team that you see before you to respond to any emergency and be there for our community. Thank you.
Okay, Vice Mayor, I'm going to give you an option to give us a couple of words here.
And I don't want to repeat what's already been said, but I do want to remind people we are experiencing king tides as well. And so potentially with the rain and tidal surge, be careful. If you see standing water, do not assume you can drive a car through it. We may see higher standing water and potential flooding in areas we haven't seen before. So just be careful. If you see the water, don't drive in it, don't walk in it. Give it extra time. It may take extra time to drain. But if we've done our preparations, we're all going to get through this just fine. And stay safe out there. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, we're still waiting on the supervisor election. She's stuck in traffic. So why don't we take a few questions and hopefully she'll make it here before we're done.
You touched on this a little bit when you were talking earlier about we were built for this, but we have a lot of new residents, obviously. And this late in the year, we've got a lot of snowbirds who usually aren't here for this kind of stuff. A lot of them are getting a little scared. Just the word hurricane in general is scaring them. What can you say to those people to kind of calm them a little bit?
Well, first of all, this is only a subtropical storm. There's not even a tropical storm yet. Second, again, as I said before, we're built for this. After Andrew, the construction changed. We raised up our construction. Our people behind me here are all prepared for this. If you've never been through a hurricane before, and even if you lived in the Northeast, you had hurricanes. I remember them when I lived on Long Island. So this is not an exceptional situation. This is maybe a Category 1 if we do wind up having it. It's going to be something that we are built for, we can handle, we have the expertise at the county level. If you get into trouble, if you have a need of emergency assistance, please don't feel that you have to do this alone. Reach out to the county, reach out to 911, and we're here to help you. All right, the supervisor elections has arrived, and so now I'm going to invite her to come on up and tell us about our election tomorrow. Ms. Link?
Thank you. All right, we're ready for a wonderful election tomorrow. Polls open at 7 a.m. the weather should be good enough for everybody to get out and vote. Our safety of our poll workers and our voters is, of course, of the most importance to us. We've taken precautions that we can take, but we're not expecting there to be any issues. So we're hoping that our poll workers will be there ready to greet you, and voters are ready to be there. If there are any big problems, if we lose power or if we have any flooding, we will move a polling location to the closest one and notify those voters in every way that we can so that they will be the least convenience. But at this point, we're not expecting that to be a problem. So just hoping everybody comes out and is ready for a great day. Thanks.
Okay, and again, it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow, and you obviously know where your precinct is. If not, go online to the supervised election site, and you'll find out where you should vote. Anybody else have a question? All right, I guess we did a good job of giving you all the information you needed. Thank you, everybody, for coming out.